I know and you know that the lifestyles that we are living, and I'm not just talking about a drug dealer or someone who goes clubbing. Some of us may well just be at home and we are so glued to our phones. We are living a life of emptiness, spiritually dead. One of the common questions that people tend to ask, maybe 20 days into the month of Ramadan, or maybe 25, I feel like I haven't benefited much. I feel like I could have done so much more. I feel so miserable and down. I feel like I've ruined the opportunity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala threw my way. There are causes for this, my brothers and my sisters. You know what one of the causes is? One of the causes as to why we may waste our Ramadan is because we did not start before the month of Ramadan. Can someone tell me very quickly, how many days do we have left before the month of Ramadan? 2 weeks. It's like 10 days, right? 12 days that we have left, guys. 12 days. Right? What would the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam do in this month that we are in, the month of Sha'ban? Did you know, my brothers and my sisters, that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam would fast? Right? Why would he fast? The scholars, they mention, in order to get himself ready for the month of Ramadan. Not that he needed to do so, but we are being taught a lesson. Start before the month of Ramadan, and then once the month of Ramadan kicks in, you hit the ground running straight away. The way I look at the month of Ramadan, my brothers and my sisters, is no different to a car. When you get into the car, does anyone in their right mind put the gears into gear 5? Huh? This guy is not 100% right. He puts it straight into what? Gear 5. No one in their right mind would do that. It takes time. Gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, gear 4. And then he puts his foot down. On the motorway here, not in Small Heath, guys. On the motorway, he puts his foot down. Sahih. It takes time. And likewise, the month of Ramadan is no different. One really wants to flip his life around in the month of Ramadan. However, he is still carrying some of these bad habits, which he hasn't, right, rid himself of. This is why, and I've been saying this in some of the lectures that I gave, I want every single one of you guys today to go and buy a fancy exercise book. A fancy exercise book. Get a nice pen with it as well, or a ball pen. Put it next to your bedside and write down, what are some of the things that I'm going to implement or introduce into my life before the month of Ramadan. You start off gradually. Every day I'm going to read a little bit of Quran, right? Every day I'm going to do a bit of dhikr. I'm going to have my alone time with just myself and Allah Azza wa Jal. That seclusion, which is priceless, my brothers and my sisters, right? Different aspects of worship which I'm going to now introduce, right? Before we enter into the month of Ramadan. Did you know, my brothers and my sisters, that Muhammad, who fasts, and Jama', who fasts, might not necessarily be the same when it comes to reward, even though from the apparent they're doing the exact same thing. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us about an act of worship that is more important than fasting, which is what? The salah. He salawatu rabbi wa salamu alayhi said, إن الرجل ينصرف من صلاته فما كتب له من صلاته إلا عشرها أو تسعها أو ثمنها أو سبعها أو سدسها, up until the end of the hadith. When one now exits from the salah, my brothers and my sisters, right, it may well be that one walks away with 10% of the reward. Some get 20, some 30, some 40, some 50, and so on and so forth. Even though from the apparent they might be doing the exact same thing. Let me ask you guys a question. The one who's focused on his prayer, right, concentrating, he is praying in a way where he is interacting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly, right? You think he's the same, huh? When you compare him now to someone who's thinking about what his wife has cooked, huh, back home, or where his car keys are, لا هل يستويان مثلا أبدا. No, not at all. They're not equal. It shows us that it varies. Likewise, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us about Hajj. من حج ولم يرفث ولم يفسق رجع كيوم ولدته أمه. When somebody goes out for Hajj and he doesn't fall into transgression and obscenity, this person comes back like a newly born baby. Even though from the apparent they're doing the exact same thing. Right? They all go to Mina, they go to Muzdalifah, they all go to Arafah, they do the tawaf. These are what? Outward actions. However, there's a spiritual side to it, my brothers and my sisters. Year in, year out, wallahi, I see brothers and sisters who go out on Hajj with us. Right? Every year I used to see this. Every year. He's performing Hajj, but he can't control his mouth. I remember many, many years ago we had this multi-millionaire on Hajj with us. Of course, the packages that we do is not like Al-Hidayah, Allahumma barik, Al-Hidayah, or big shots in the game. We just have, basic 5-star package. In Mina, everyone's like in the basic place, right? So this multi-millionaire walks into the tents, and for those who know how Mina are, everyone's cramped up together. He went and sat down. He looked to his left. He looked to his right. And he was absolutely disgusted. He walks out of the tent and he just starts ripping into the organizers of Hajj. And I'm like, uncle, can we save it for maybe later? And he's just going off. He's not going off on me, but he's going off on those who have organized the Mina tents of Hajj. Right? Insult after insult after insult. And I'm like, yeah, uncle, you are going to destroy your Hajj. And he's just going on. Can this person be the same as the one who is controlling his mouth? People start fighting in Muzdalifah. Don't get on the bus. See people what? A bit like the black stone. You know the black stone in the Kaaba? Literally fighting and pulling with one another. Right? Insults. You're this, you're that. And then you got some people waiting patiently. They're not going to walk away with the same reward, guys. And the same is mentioned about the fasting. Right? Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, رُبَّ صَائِمْ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ لَلْجُوعِ وَالْعَطَشِ. Someone may fast, but he gets nothing out of the fasting other than what? Thirst and hunger. How many hours are going to be fasting? 17 hours, right? Maybe more, maybe a little bit less. Maybe my calculations are from years back. But that's a lot of hours, guys. Imagine you turn up on Yawm al-Qiyamah and this is what? Haba'an manthura. Scattered particles. And you got absolutely nothing for it. And that is because you thought that the month of Ramadan, when you fast, all you have to do is what? Stay away from food and drink. Sexual intercourse, alhamdulillah. Right? We try to kill time in the month of Ramadan. Or it might be that he sleeps throughout the whole night. And then the whole day is, sorry, not the whole night. Because we're doing all-nighters. The whole day. The whole day, brothers and sisters. Because he's up all night. And then he wakes up maybe what? Half an hour before iftar. Alhamdulillah, yes. I don't have to endure, right? That tiredness. Just before iftar, it's only half an hour left. And then he gets on his phone. And he's going through Snapchat stories. One Somali sheikh called it wasakh chat. He called it wasakh chat. Or Instagram, Fitnagram. You got the TikTok tigers, right? These names are good. Ala kulli hal, my brothers and my sisters, fasting is a lot more than that. Right? Fasting is a lot more than that.